Доброе утро.
Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, dear friends. Dear colleagues, we start the work of the panel session, Global Silk Way, Forum of Mayors of Cities. First of all, I congratulate you with the successful beginning of the Astana Economic Forum. And it's very pleasant for us to start the second day of the forum. And it's interesting that the agenda for the forum is really touches upon the cities. And as the first president said yesterday, investments now come not to the countries, but to the cities. It's not just a mere coincidence that the topic of our session is devoted to the cities of the new Silk Way. I am Sergei Stanovkin. I'll be the moderator for the session. We have quite experienced and very highly respected speakers and experts. That is why the format of the session is as follows. We shall listen to several experts, and then we shall discuss all the possible topics in terms of the time framework, and then we shall be always thinking about these topics. I think we are at the starting point of a big voyage, but in Chinese they say that the big voyage starts with the first step, and I am so happy that this session, which is not the first step, but the second, because the first step was done last year. Last year, we got at the Global Forum of Mayors of the Silk Way mayors, and it's pleasant that this time we are making the second step. I give with my greatest pleasure the floor to Bahit Sultanov, Akim of Nur Sultan city, with his welcoming speech. Microphone. Good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to welcome you personally, dear respected speakers for the forum, and our dear guests. It's the second time that in the capital of Kazakhstan we carry out the forum of mayors of the Silkway cities. For us, it's a big honor to host representatives of local powers of a wide range of geography. I am sure that the given forum will give us a chance to get new knowledge, to share ideas, best practices, to exchange experience, and further introduction. This year, the dialogue of synergy is synergetical, is in line with the second Astana Economic Forum, with the topic inspiring growth, people, cities, economies. We have a unique opportunity in the platform of ZIF to discuss the most actual economic and socially significant issues separately taken by regions and in the whole global space. Today, between the global cities, we have a permanent competition for investments, talents, tourists, entrepreneurs. In this struggle, the ones who win, who promote better conditions to maintain competitiveness, we have to ensure a higher level of life in our regions, because people prefer to work where it is much easier to conduct business, where it is safe and comfort to live. Thanks to the wise and far-looking policy of the first president, Nursultan Abishevchin Nazarbayev, our city has achieved considerable successes within the 20 years of development. The image of our capital has radically changed, and today it is compliance with the status of the modern, attractive, dynamically developing megapolis, where harmoniously administrative, commercial, and public spaces are matching each other. Now we produce more than 11% of the GDP of the country. We form 10% of investments in the major capital of Kazakhstan. Within 6 years, the gross regional product of the city in real value has grown 6 times, achieved $70 billion. of US. To the economy of the capital, around 9 trillion tenge of capital was invested, and the annual volume of investments has grown 55 times and totals to $3 billion. Today, Nur-Sultan has its self-sustainable economy. 55% of the GDP is formed at the cost of the entrepreneur sector, and each third citizen of Astana is engaged in the sphere of small and medium business, and here half of the tax revenues are coming to the budget. So we produced more than 22 million of square meters of residential areas. The city is a leader by the time of ensuring the quality of houses. Last time we introduced only 1/4 of the volume of residential houses, and the capital is a sort of a visiting card of our state, and it needs to solve a lot of tasks which are related to the role of our state, which shows itself as the economic and financial center in the Central Asian region. We always stand for the fruitful business cooperation for regional integration. We strive to revitalize the Great Silk Way, which historically was the economic bridge between East and West and executed not only the trade or transport function, but the wider humanitarian and cultural mission. Today, our city continues with the policy of expansion of interregional cooperation with co-partners worldwide. Now we have 47 co-partners from 32 countries and with 29 capitals. With each year and with each of them, we try to develop mutually advantageous cooperation under the framework of bilateral and multilateral relations, and I want to express my huge gratitude to all mayors, representatives of the city who took part in this forum. Using this opportunity, I invite all of us to the session organized by the Akim's Office of Nur-Sultan City on the topic transformation of cities in the epoch of the fourth industrial revolution in a couple of hours, where we shall represent our new concept for the further development of the capital, which is being developed right now. And the session will start at 12 o'clock in Hall, New York. I wish all the participants of the forum to have a constructive work, to exchange good ideas, and the most important thing, to find the concrete ways to implement them for the benefit of development of our cities. And I hope that you're staying in the hosting Kazakhstan event will be impressive to you. And thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Now we have already identified the direction. At 12 o'clock we shall continue with this topic, but now we shall talk about the future perspectives. It's very pleasant for me to give the word to the Minister of the Government of Moscow, Head of the Department of External Economic and International Links of the Moscow City. Dear Bahit Al-Khanch, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear respected guests, for Moscow it's a big honor to participate in this session, one way and one belt, and it's not just a transport and logistical project of the large scale, of the world scale, but first and foremost, as Akim of Nur-Sultan City has rightly said, it's a cultural humanitarian project which will enable to develop our megapolises, big cities, which make the basis of economies of many countries. As of today, the number of population has increased more than 55% based on the statistics of the population, and 400 agglomerates make 1/3 of the GDP of the whole planet. Moscow, from this point of view, is one of the dynamically developing cities of the world. And for us, participation in the program One Belt, One Way is a serious incentive to continue to develop first the transport infrastructure, and nowadays the capital of Russia is a well-acknowledged transport hub, which we developed the aviation communication in the nearest year. We shall launch the new terminal of Sheremetyevo Airport, which will increase the capacity up to 100 million, and it will serve more than 150 million of people. The city actively goes on with investments in development of the base infrastructure in metropolitan, the underground ways, and starting from 2010 up to 2021, the length of the Moscow Underground will increase twice. Last year, we made a record on introduction of new stations of the underground. 17 stations were launched. Now Moscow is actively integrating the underground with the railways, and we implemented a unique project. In a short time, construction of the Moscow Central Railway and its light overground metropolitan, which decreased a lot on the major underground facilities, which conveys 10 million passengers in Moscow. We develop the road network. Also, the city is one of the densely populated cities of the world. We built hundreds of kilometers of new roads, cross passings, and we are sincerely glad that private business also paid attention to participate in the infrastructure projects, and Moscow is ranking #1 in the country in terms of PPP projects and in terms of building their railway infrastructure. The first experience is construction of the transport way, which is in parallel to the Kutuzov Avenue, with investments of more than $1 billion, which will connect the financial center, business center of Moscow, Moskva city, with the bypass ways. And we go on to actively invest in development of the public transportation. We replace the fleet of buses totally. We procured a huge number of new trams. We are changing the fleet of parks of Metropolitan, which is the biggest contracts of the life cycle, to replace several thousands of wagons of Metropolitan. For the first time in Moscow, we have the electrical bus, and we hope that within 10 years, the whole Moscow transport will become electrical, which will enable to considerably improve the ecological situation in the city, to increase comfort of the city environment. Moscow actively goes on to implement such projects as Smart Cities 2030, Safe City, and we pay much attention, serious attention to development of tourist infrastructure. And within the last championship on football, it showed that Moscow is ready to host any kinds of international competitions and championships. Millions of tourists last year. We made a record by the number of the guests who came to our city. More than 25 million visited Moscow. We actively pay attention to development of the investment climate and creation of the favorable conditions to develop entrepreneurship. And several months ago, at the International Exhibition Investment of Real Estate in Cannes, Moscow again got a huge number of nominations from the Journal for Indirect Investment, which shows the quality of the investment climate in the city. And today, Moscow cooperates almost with 150 biggest cities of the world in different areas, exchanges actively with experience. We are sincerely happy that our colleagues from the city Nur-Sultan take an active part in this program. We interact in terms of development of the public transportation. We agreed to cooperate in the system of healthcare, education, introduction of the newest information technologies in all spheres of the city life, urban life. And we plan to sign a program on cooperation for the nearest 3 years. And I am sure that this initiative, One Belt, One Way, will enable us, of course, to create a unique industrial transport corridor with a volume of production and trade not less than 23 trillion trillions of dollars. So this project will facilitate not only development of the countries which are members of it, but the Eurasian Union, which is now is an example of economic integration in spite of the processes of disintegration which we observe in the world. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can I ask you a small question? About the international cooperation, it's accepted to consider that investments now come to countries, but they come from countries. And what countries are the champions in terms of investments to Moscow City? If we take the total volume of investments, it goes to stably grow. The volume of direct foreign investments increased to $260 billion. And the major investors to the economy of our city are the countries of EU, first and foremost. In spite of the sanction regimes, investments grow from the countries such as US, Canada, UK, and we observe that many companies, in spite of the sanctions, localize their production in the capital, actively participate in development of our industrial parks, industrial technopolises, clusters of startups. In many technoparks, more than half of residents are foreigners, foreign companies. And that is why, if we take for instance, the countries of EU, the leaders here would be Germany, France, Italy, Austria, and a number of other countries. The Chinese People's Republic is ranking #1 in terms of the external economic turnover, and with Russia and Moscow, by investments, it ranks #10. But we hope that the conditions of the legislation to create the attractive investment climate will maintain the tendency, and the growth of investments in the major capital will go on. Thank you. We go on. And it's already the second year Mikhail Kovart is with us. And now he is the mayor of Tallinn city. Maybe he can share with us his thoughts and ideas. Yes, thank you. It will be much easier for me to share with you if I have a remote controller and the presentation on the screen. Уважаемый господин мэр Нур-Султана, уважаемые участники круглого стола, для меня приятно приветствовать вас. Спасибо за приглашение.
It is my pleasure to present you concepts of Tallinn-Helsinki Twin City, hopefully in 2035. And I would like to start from some global megatrends, well known for you, but I would like to talk about global megatrends maybe again. So first of all, there's a rapid urbanization going on, but more importantly, as a result of in the importance of cities and the metropolitan areas is growing. We are more and more living in an economy of cities. It's more and more cities that define the competitiveness of nations. And if you are too small, you are probably out of competition. And both cities, Tallinn and Helsinki, are small. Second, of course, digitalization. Digitalization changed our work and the way we govern. Third, industrial revolution, industry 4.0 and society 5.0 might shoot like overused phrases, but the change is real. Third, climate change and more generally our impact on environment, something that will create a lot of tragedy, forcing millions of people to relocate, but it's also a possibility to develop new technologies and solve the issues that have been unsolved for decades. And fourth, global power will shift. We are entering the Asian century. The shift is first economical, then political, and maybe at one point cultural. And fifth, global population will increase and age. This requires new models to provide services and infrastructure built on universal design principles. And in the Twin City context, I will highlight three of the trends. Rising importance of cities, digitalization, and global power shift. Twin City will create a metropolitan area. Tallinn and Helsinki are both small cities, and also both are growing. The number of inhabitants will not match global metropolises, but we think we don't have to. The Twin City allows us to be bigger than the sum of our parts. 1 + 1 is more than 2. We already have strong cultural and economic ties. What we intend to do is create world-class physical ties, and we have one dream, one very big project, world's longest undersea tunnel will link the cities, hopefully by 2035, and Rail Baltic will link the region to Central Europe. Tallinn and Helsinki are already leaders in digital governance and smart city solutions. Digitalization is a major driver of our economies, not so much in terms of industry, but in terms of governance. In this field, small size is an advantage. It allows us to be flexible and experiment. The integration of all public sector registers and database together with electronic identity and digital signature allows for a seamless interaction between the private and the public sector. And now we are trying to take that cross borders. The Finnish Smart City Cross-Border Center of Excellence, which was just established a couple of months ago, will scale our solutions to be used across Europe. And last year we started with one project to create one ticket system for public transportation for both cities. The global power will shift, and we are at the border of it. Helsinki Airport is the closest big European airport to Asia, already serving as a hub for Asian tourists, both leisure and business. The Twin City region would act both as a gateway between East and West, but also as a destination itself for IT-related business and governance and beautiful cities and environment. The two capitals only have 80 kilometers of Baltic Sea and a 2-hour ferry ride between them. Foreign tourists spend 2.7 million nights in Tallinn and 2.3 million nights in Helsinki. Together we have around 5 million nights, but there is a great potential for growth. Marketing Tallinn and Helsinki together as Twin City has great potential to attract travelers in remote markets as Asia, USA, but also in Europe. In reality, the Tallinn-Helsinki Twin City tourism product is already operational. Tallinn and Helsinki are often promoted and sold together by travel trade and city tourism organization. However, by using intelligent marketing and product development strategies, we could become more attractive and increase the number of bed nights in the hotels. Without a doubt, this cooperation benefits both cities. And Tallinn and Helsinki are members of the World Tourism City Federation. In 2019, Tallinn will join World Tourism City Federation, an initiative from Beijing. Today there are around 150 members in the organization from all over the world, including Helsinki, and several tourism and media enterprises from China. It's a great platform for cooperation, communication, and best practice exchange between its members. However, it's also a great possibility to introduce tourism destination and market tourism products and services. This year, the organization main event, the Tourism Summit, is taking place in Helsinki. It is important to mention here that Helsinki is the European Smart Tourism Capital this year. The competition for that title is an European Union initiative to reward innovative and smart tourism in the European city. I'm proud that Tallinn was among the 10 finalists of this intense competition. Cross-marketing the city's online and social media, introducing the two destinations together to travel professionals at a tourism fair and workshop are definitely some examples on which to focus and develop in the future. We are in the phase of creating great ideas to gain more attention worldwide for two small capital cities in the Baltic Sea region, and we are open for cooperation. Thank you.
Спасибо, спасибо большое. Может быть, Таллин и небольшой.
Thank you very much. Maybe Tallinn is a small city, but you can say so much, and you have what to say about this city. Thank you for the presentation. I want to give the floor to Mayor of Lenkin, Mr. Van Wey.
中国连云港市政府的市长方伟，是我们中国传话小说孙悟空《西游记》孙悟空的老家。在中国的这个文化里面孙悟空是一个聪明活泼、忠于信仰、敢于斗争。
Singun is a very tsar of monkeys, and Leningan is a motherhood. The legend says that this city was in the mountain Huagao. The mountain Huagao is located in Ganyungan, is one of the most known places of interest in the city of Leningan. We can say Leningan is a native city of the Tsar of monkeys. It's located in the center of the coastal line of China and is the northern part of the province Anzhou. It's the first of coastal city of China and the key port city of China and an excellent tourist city, and is the starting point for the new Eurasian Continental Bridge. The area of the city is 7,600 square kilometers. The area of the sea 6.6 thousand kilometers. Population more than 5 million people. After After 2 years of reform of openness, Leningrad has become a modern word with excellent characteristics. And it's a big city with huge regional advantages, and this city connects agglomeration of Benjin, Shenzhen, Hebei city cluster in the north, joins the Yangtze River Delta, and borders with Korea, and connects China with the continent and Eurasia. And here we can see the Silk Way and the marine way of the 21st century. The city has the geographical advantages, connects north and west, and east. Leningrad takes a very important way in distribution of the national production, if you look, and President Xi Jinping has witnessed the international role and geographical position of Leningrad, and of course personally participated in the ceremony of promotion of the Kazakhstani-Chinese logistic project in the territory of Leningrad. Leningrad has the national strategic objectives. We hope that Leningrad will use this advantage of its geographic position and will play a major role as a strategic gate in promotion of the promoting common development of the region and optimizing the layout of the opening part. We try to build a big port, to build a big transportation network. And now, jointly with Kazakhstan, we have quite an excellent railway connection between Kazakhstan and Leningrad. The length of the road more than 60,000 kilometers. Now, when we talk about the trade turnover between the two countries, it has increased considerably thanks to the railway between our countries. Leningrad is now the international type of the city with characteristics of openness, and more than 8 million of investments are attracted per year to Leningrad. Thanks to the unique advantages of the combined maritime and railway transport and intermodal solutions, we have different types of transportations. Up to Khargos, we have a railway, and we have the open maritime routes. Now, Leningrad has the deep canal for 300,000 kilometers, and it can connect the big ships of 400 tons, and the capacity per year is 230 million tons per year. Now, we attract huge investments to Leningrad. Big companies, different big companies like German companies and Korean companies and Bosch, as you see, Henkel, and many other companies are happy to invest in Leningrad. And as we have said already, investments started to come to cities. And it is, of course, happening under the framework of the initiative One Belt, One Way. And now, more than $9.5 billion by the end of 2018 is achieved in our foreign trade transactions. And now we can see that many countries such as Japan, Belarus, Kyrgyzstan, Russia by all means, and UK inclusively conduct a huge number of trade transactions. And now in the territory of Almaty, we also conduct a lot of trade transactions, and a big number of investments go through via Almaty in Georgia and Batumi. We also established relations between Leningan and Batumi. And of course, for us, the most important thing is that we must develop the safe from the term in terms of the ecological safety and industry relations. This developed industrial basis and the projects that we develop in the territory of Leningrad will support all companies which are interested to participate in this market, in the region of One Belt, One Way. And now, as I have already said before, we are ready to host the big ships in Leningrad port, and we have this capability. We can host the ships of 400 tons, and via our railway and based on our China Railway, we transport a huge volume of cargo, and this is the biggest hub. Through Shanghai, in the eastern part of China, along the port cities, we have the high-speed railway. A huge number of high-speed roads are also built in Langin, and we have already have this industrial base established. We try, first of all, to create a very safe place for transportation of the high quality commodities. We try to be in line with all international standards. And I want to highlight one more thing, that from the technical point of view, we can talk about the high level of development. Now, Leningrad has and plays a very important role in the technical development of our country, which is obvious and becoming obvious from every year on. Leningrad is rich in its natural resources. Now, more than 30 different names of natural resources fields can be counted. But on top of it, you see that we have a well-developed tourist places. We can speak here about nature, about fresh air. And I have already mentioned that our city is built in memory of the Tsar of a monk. It's the motherhood of the Tsar of Monk, and that Tsar of monkeys was born in Huangou Mountains. We try also to increase development of business. We try to increase openness in carrying out business transactions. And of course, we try to achieve the highest world standards. And the Leningrad of today is ranking as one of the top cities in development of port-based cities in China. And I hope that we shall be able to find more opportunities to develop our cooperation in the territory of Leningrad, in the territory of Jiangsu of our province. And I hope for very strong and better cooperation. Thank you very much, Mr. Fan Bui. I give the floor to Mr. Wang Yanmin, Vice Mayor of Harbin City. I request you to follow the time framework for us to be able to listen to all speakers. 7 minutes, please.
尊敬的女士们、先生们，大家好！很荣幸能出席今天本次圆桌论坛， 与各位市长和实业界的先生们。
Good day, dear friends. I'm very happy to participate in our today's event. I want to provide briefly a brief information about our city, Harbin. Harbin is a famous historical and cultural city in China, and also the city of global music, which is popular in China and abroad. Harbin is one of the famous tourist cities of China, which is characterized by rich tourist resources, specifically snow, ice coverage, well, but swamps and other unique natural resources. Harbin is one of the best tourist places and is popular and has a very good tourist image in China and abroad. It's known as the city of snow and ice tourism. In the course of the visit of the General Secretary of Xi Jinping to Harbin, he said snow and ice are also very important and valuable assets. And as you see, Harbin is a first city in China which deals with snow-based and ice-based tourism. Every year, the Chinese ice festivals are celebrated, and the history of it makes 55 years. And every year we successfully hold it in Harbin. The exhibition of ice figures is the art of ice in the open air. The World of Ice and Snow is the biggest thematical park in the world. The snow exhibitions of the island of the sun. This is the arts group made of snow-based sculptures. These products of Harbin make tourism famous worldwide, the object of snow and ice tourism. Harbin and the Harbin's ice and snow tourism has become one of the attractive tourist products of the country. In wintertime, Harbin is very cold. It's an icy city. Instead, 2022 Winter Olympic Games will be held in China. In the next decade, we expect that snow and ice-based business will achieve 3 billion by scale. Investments in ice and snow business is timely. And we invite far-looking people to invest in Harbin. Harbin is also an ecological summer tourist place for summertime. In average, the average temperature from 18 to 22 degrees by Celsius. Difference between the temperature in the morning and in the evening is big, which is quite good for the summertime. But at the same time, Harbin is a natural oxygen bar, as we call it. Along the city, we can count around 18 national and provincial forests, which cover more than 30% of forestry acreage. And in average, more than 27,000 negative ions of oxygen are found in our city. The existing area of swamps and swamp areas in Harbin makes 3,000 kilometers. In 2011, Association of Tourism of the Asian Pacific region named Harbin the beautiful city of water area. Starting from the year 12 in Harbin every year, all the summer we held the tourist and cultural events. A charming Harbin summertime, so swamps, festivals of beer. In Harbin, the central city has the average passenger flow of 800,000 people. Street music, international marathons, fashion contests make it possible to develop summer tourism, to demonstrate summer style in fashion area. Harbin is characterized also by its special style for summer tourism. Harbin also is the capital of fashion and romanticism. It's an old city in combination with the ancient and modern cultures. Harbin is called the critical point of Chinese and Western culture. In 1115, the Jin dynasty finished the struggle between Yuan, and Harbin provided the ideas which are still there, which maintain its ancient aura. In the year 1800, the railway road was built, and Harbin has become a bridge which connects the countries of Europe and Asia. In the year 1930, more than 160,000 expatriates from 30 countries got together here in the city from 19 countries and opened their consulates in Harbin. And now we have around 415 classical type of buildings of different styles, or Baroque type, Romanticism, of different architecture styles in Harbin. In the year 2010, Harbin has become the only city of music in Asia, which was awarded the prestigious award by UN. Multiculture of the city does facilitate the integration of the culture of industry, fashion, music, but creates enormous opportunities for business as a big trigger which facilitates to revitalization of Harbin. We welcome investors to Harbin for joint cooperation, development of our Harbin with its 100 glory of it, 100 years of glory of it. So that is why, dear ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely invite you to Harbin to enjoy its beauty, to walk along its beautiful ancient streets, to feel the beauty of the iced city, to know about the project in the sphere of tourism. We believe that in Harbin, in our fruitful land, full of energy, that we can seed something and we can get the fruits. I wish you good and strong health and success in your work. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wang Yanmin. It's a good demonstration that investments come to the cities which investors like, and quite often a huge number of figures, maybe not convincing as the charming of the city, which the investor can feel and see. And it's not by chance that many countries and cities make tourism a very responsible factor for attraction of investments. It's a very interesting topic, but we need to go on. I give the floor to Councillor of Bangkok City, to Mr. Valop Suvandi.
Excellency Minister Chayamin, Honorable Mayor Sultanov, and also the Honorable Mayors, Honorable Vice Mayor, distinguished moderator, distinguished delegation. First of all, on behalf of the Governor of Bangkok, Police General Aswin Kwanmung, I would like to convey our appreciation and heartfelt thanks to the organizer of the forum to allow the city of Bangkok to present our viewpoint and also part of achievement. It is quite a privilege and the honor of the city of Bangkok indeed. I myself, Valop Suvandi, the chairman advisor to the governor of Bangkok. My mission here is 2 points. The first one is to present to the delegation the joint efforts delivered in Bangkok in the formation of the transport and logistic hub. And secondly, the Bangkok would like to present economic model applied to the feasibility of these joint efforts. Undeniably, our world is the era of change. This one is a diagram of the Silk Road, which a part of the distinguished presenter has presented a moment ago. Anyway, the Thailand and the Bangkok do have the connection with the Belt and Road Initiative. Within Belt and Road Initiative, we do have the 6 economic corridors spanning Asia, Europe, and Africa. One of those economic corridors is the China-Indochina Peninsula, comprising of the Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. Moreover, the government of China and the government of Thailand are constructing a pan-Asia railway network connecting Kunming all the way to Singapore, comprising of the central route, western route, and also the eastern route. Therefore, I would like to mention that The Bangkok needs to embrace the new horizon for the development of Central Asia and also Eurasia. The Belt and Road Initiative I mentioned earlier do have the 5 major goals: the policy coordination, infrastructure connectivity, unimpeded trade, financial integration, and connecting people. The City of Bangkok and also the government of Thailand do uphold these 5 major goals as part of our efforts. Therefore, in particular, City of Bangkok, with regarding to the Belt and Road Initiative, we have constructed the Bang Sue Grand Station. It will be the largest railway station in Southeast Asia, with a total area of the 171 square meters with 26 platforms. It will be a key link to the mass transit system of Bangkok. It will serve the existing rail system and also to be serving 10 new rail systems in the very near future. Moreover, and more significantly, this grand station will be serving 3 new high-speed train routes. The first one from Bangkok to the northeast of Thailand to Nong Khai. The second one is from Bangkok to the northern part of Thailand, Chiang Mai. And the third one is a high-speed train service linking 3 airports. I would like to mention that the first and the second route will potentially link with China and consequentially with other corridors spanning Europe, Africa, and Asia. With this intention, we do construct a prototype of transit-oriented development, or TOD. It will be the very first one to be initiated in Thailand and also the very first one to be initiated in Bangkok. The area of 372 hectares around this grand station will be developed, hopefully, into business and commercial hubs, sports complex, international exhibition center, and residential estates. Moreover, this area will host 3 big parts with a combined area of 123 hectares, approximately about half the size of the Central Park of New York City. The investment of the government of Thailand to develop the infrastructure I just mentioned worth more than 1.6 billion US dollars. In this project that the private sector will further invest approximately 5 billion US dollars for the project. Of course, the project will not be ordinary project. The requirement of the project is that it will be smart city. That is, smart economy, smart living, smart people, smart governance, smart energy, smart environment, and smart mobility. Right now, it already started, with the first phase start in 2017 and will be finished in 2024. It will be comprising of the construction of the grand station, commercial building, office building, integrated transport system. The second phase will commence in the 2024 until 2029, comprising of the construction of the conference and exhibition center, sports complex, retail office, residential projects. And the last phase will be 2024 up to 2031 with additional housing projects. With these projects announced to the public, presently the condominium price around the area has increased up to almost 90%, and the rent price have risen to the soaring of 80%, which is a good indicator. With this, we do have optimistic perspectives. That is, if the project is completed as planned, it would provide opportunities for the private sectors to expand the investment around this location. Moreover, with the starting of this infrastructure, construction demands for the residential properties around the development would be increased. That is, the grand station will lead Thailand to the next step of improvement in transportation modes, logistics, and domestic employment. However, in terms of the investment, under the current global economic downturn, Thailand, just like many countries, the Thai government is spending heavily on the infrastructure as a means of avoiding recessions. Limited by revenues and the debt ceiling on the public finances, it means that Thailand will not fund the investment by using any conventional methods. The principle PPP, the public-private partnership, would be the answer for Bangkok and Thailand. We do have an act of the private participation in state undertaking legislated in the 1992 with the key principle of the public interest protection and also the anti-corruption measures. With the further modification, we do have the same act with the modified version of the 2013 with the additional key principle of the promoting the PPP investment. That is, the feature of the promoting PPP investment will be categorized in 3 categories: the standardization, the facilitation, and the transparency. In particular, the standardization will be comprising of the component of the master plan of PPP. We will have the PPP committee chaired by the Prime Minister, will be the version for the value for money concepts, the standard contract, and also guideline for the small projects. With the facilitation, there will be the streamlined procedure in order to induce private investment, the precise time frame for the consideration so that the public could be utilized, should be the awarded advantage, and also the project development plan. Transparency will be the pool of experts to consider the investment of the private and also part of the public. Prohibition on the conflict of interest and disqualification of the criteria for those participate on the public and the private part.
1 minute, please.
Thailand and Bangkok anticipate that our joint efforts in the formation of the Silk Road and transportation and logistics hub would be materialized eventually. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Следующим у нас будет
The next speaker is Deputy Executive Director of the Council on Trade Development of Hong Kong, Raymond Ip.
都北京 Good morning. 大家早上好 I'm very delighted to be here, particularly in this big country, having come from a very small territory of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a very small place with only 1,100 square kilometers, but we have very high density of people, and also I'm going to explain to you about our prominence in international business. So today I'm going to talk about Hong Kong's international cooperation. And also our competitive advantages, and also how we approach to branding, because we are small, so we need to brand ourselves. Firstly, international cooperation. Again, because we are small, we have always been looking beyond our borders. So we've always been looking, exporting, and also importing, and also providing a platform for investment flows two-way between China and the world, and also other countries in Asia. As the saying goes, there's no permanent enemy in the world, particularly in politics. So I think we should also always be thinking about cooperation and competition. So there's many words coined as like co-petition or comparison. So these are words coined with these two. And we always want to achieve win-win. And we help companies to use our platform, regardless of the origin, to achieve success. I'm going to explain about our role. We are a two-way investment hub. We are also a commercial hub for Belt and Road, and we help business to succeed. We help foreign companies to enter the Asian market, China market. We also help Chinese companies to access the world. We have many different roles in terms of serving the Belt and Road opportunities. I'm going to explain each one of them one by one. We are a financial center. We are also an integrator for infrastructure. We are a professional services hub. We use English common law, like the Astana International Financial Center here. And we are also a logistic and maritime hub. And of course, we are a very important regional trading center. Our annual trade is over, excuse me, $1 trillion US, which is almost three times our GDP. Okay, so this is very exciting. Firstly, Hong Kong last year was the world's #1 IPO center. We surpassed Wall Street. For the past 10 years, Hong Kong was #1 for IPO in the world in 6 years. And we are Asia's #1 financial center and also #3 in the world after New York and London. So I've been walking around and I've been seeing all the halls named after London, New York, Dubai, Tokyo, Singapore, but I've yet to find one named after Hong Kong. So if I may suggest to the organizers, next year, please name one hall, Hong Kong Hall, please. Thank you very much. Spasiba.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I still have some minutes, okay?
Okay, yes. Yeah,
We are the premier fund management hub in Asia, managing over $3 trillion US of funds. #1 offshore renminbi market, settlement market. Roughly 79% of all the renminbis transacted outside China are settled in Hong Kong. #2 foreign exchange market, number four in the world. And now this point is very exciting. I'm going to show you the chart later on. We are the #2, we're the largest, second largest inward and outward stock of foreign direct investments in the world, only after the US. Thank you. Now you have to see this chart to believe it. Now this is the total stock up to end 2017 inflow. That means we are the second largest recipient cumulatively of foreign direct investment only after the US, more than any of the countries you see on this chart. Okay, now the more exciting one is coming now. Please sit tight. This is the outflow of capital, foreign direct investments from Hong Kong. Again, cumulatively, we are #2 in the world. So if you're looking for investments, Hong Kong is a place you should come to. Why? Because 60% of mainland's foreign direct investments pass through Hong Kong before going out to the world. And apart from being an important financial center, we are also a very important logistic maritime center. I know that you also want to build up a zero logistic hub. Hong Kong, we have the largest, the busiest air cargo airport in the world, handling over 5 million tons a year. And Hong Kong is the we have the world's 4th largest merchant fleet, and we own roughly 10% of the world's commercial tonnage. City branding. Even though we have so many superlatives, but we still believe that good things need to be promoted. So we still need to brand ourselves properly. So we have different levels of branding on a overall city branding of Hong Kong. And we also do B2B sector-specific promotions. Of course, the consumers are also very important. So we also do B2C promotions. And of course, we use the mass media and also the social media. City branding, we've been doing various anchor flagship promotions in different parts of the world. Our flagship promotion is Think Asia, Think Hong Kong. We want companies, when they think about doing business with Asia, they'll think about Hong Kong first. So we are going to mount a promotion in Los Angeles in September. Of course, we are also helping other Asian countries to expand their business through the Hong Kong platforms, using Hong Kong's services, using Hong Kong's professional design financial services. So we're going to do one in the Philippines next March. And of course, we are also helping Chinese companies to upgrade and transform. We have many different platforms like this one. We have a Belt and Road Summit in Hong Kong, Asian Financial Forum, logistics, IP trading, e-tailing, etc. So all these are very important platforms. And there's one thing that we always do in our conference. We always provide one-to-one business matching for all the participants on demand. That means they don't just come to share knowledge. They also come to grab concrete business, and we provide the platform to make this possible. We also organize some of the world's largest trade fairs. 30 of them are over 11 are the biggest in Asia, and 5 of them are the biggest in the world. And we welcome, any companies, including CASA from this country, or also from any countries around the world, to use our platform, and we will also help you to find customers and find markets. We also bring our promotions to different parts of the city. We also bring our promotions to the consumers, because we believe that engaging the consumers are very important, because they're the ultimate buyers of our products and also maybe even users of our services. Okay, so social media, and we also use the TV. This is our network. We have an office in Almaty, so please, you're welcome to use our service. And if you need any branding or services help, please contact us, and we are your ideal partner. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your speech, Mr. Raymond. If I want to highlight one very important idea, is that we need to talk about good things. If you do something good, it's better to talk about it. Maybe it's an obvious conclusion, but we don't do it all the time. I give the floor to the register and head of the court of the AIFC and the International Arbitration Center, Christopher Campbell Holt.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to address you all this morning. I'd like to start by expressing my great thanks to our new mayor of Nusultan, His Excellency Bakir Sultanov, to our moderator, Sergey, and of course to the organizers for organizing a truly impressive and important discussion this morning. I've had the good fortune, incredible fortune, to have worked with some very senior people from the English legal profession, including our Chief Justice at the AIFC Court, Lord Wolfe, former Lord Chief Justice from England and Wales, for many years. It never crossed my mind that 2.5 years ago I'd be invited to come and live and work in this great city, Nusultan. During the course of my time here, I have come to learn of the enormous potential for development in this great city. It is a city enriched with great hospitality, modern architecture, culture, enormous talent, particularly among the young Kazakh nationals who have an excellent education system in Nusultan, Kazakhstan, and many thousands have had the benefit of the international education all around the world at some of the world's leading universities and schools. But more than anything for me, the Nusultan has become and is increasingly taking the lead as a business hub in Kazakhstan, but critically also for the whole Eurasia region. One major catalyst for that is what I am partly here to do, and that is to assist with the development and management of the Astana International Financial Center, the AIFC, which was the vision of our first president of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Nursultan Nazarbayev, and is led by our governor, Dr. Karek Kalimatov. The Astana International Financial Center, by way of brief background, provides new economic opportunities for investment into Kazakhstan. It does so in key focused areas of capital markets, asset finance, private wealth, Islamic finance and financial technology, all neatly coordinated around a mission which is heavily focused on sustainability. The financial center has been formally launched by the first president of Kazakhstan and our governor on the 5th of July last year, 2018. At the same time, our exchange, our stock exchange, was launched, and I believe in November last year it had its first IPO and has since attracted multiple listings. The AFC now has over 160 participants, an incredible achievement in such a short period of time. We also have, and this is why I'm here, an outstanding international common law court chaired by our Chief Justice, Lord Wolfe, and a separate and equally independent international arbitration centre chaired by our arbitrator chairman, Barbara Doman QC, a distinguished commercial litigator, arbitrator and mediator with more than 40 years experience. At the heart of our financial centre is the common law. The first president wanted us to develop an English common law model because of the proven success of similarly minded international financial centres, specifically in the Middle East. I happen to have had 7 years in Qatar before coming here, again with our Chief Justice Lord Wolf, and I saw firsthand the level of success that a new international financial centre can have by harnessing local and international talent and business opportunities, all pinned and supported by an international common law system that's modelled on the English common law and ultimately protected in terms of protecting international investors' rights through a credible international standard court applying the common law, its latest procedures, digital technology, and an equally minded arbitration centre. I know time is short, so I won't speak for much longer, but I'd like to add some key updates and highlights in particular to what I do and what our judges do. And by the way, we don't just have Lord Wolf as our Chief Justice, one of the most respected Chief Justices around the world. We also have 8 absolutely international standard, world-class common law judges, predominantly from the English common law system, but with international experience throughout the world, including a number of the countries represented around this table this morning. Innovation is critical for our financial centre to attract international investment, and that's particularly so for our Court and Arbitration Centre. We have just recently had our first case at our court. We have achieved this in an international record compared to other financial centres. 14 months was the achievement. We are now today enforcing that judgment within Kazakhstan through an absolutely robust enforcement system. We've spent great energy and time working with leaders from around the world in international financial centres to develop credible policies, rules, laws and systems which will absolutely protect the interests of investors, and we hope it will prove over the course of the next few years to be very attractive to attract new investors into Kazakhstan through our AIFC. At the heart of all this, again, for our Court and Arbitration Centre, we have world-class premises not far up the road from here at the Expo 2017 site. Our court, we're incredibly fortunate, has truly innovative digital technology in terms of filing all cases. We are the first court in this Eurasia region to be able to offer that international standard. It's not even necessary for parties to be physically present in Kazakhstan. Parties can now invest into this initiative at the AFC and protect their rights through the Court and Arbitration Centre, applying the top international standards, managed by the top international people, and to do so by not even being physically here. We are contributing to the development of the community here through the AIFC, not least through the development of human capital. In a limited regard, our Court and Arbitration Centre is assisting with the development of the future lawyers of Kazakhstan, the youth, and the enormous talent that Kazakhstan has to offer, and indeed the Eurasia region has to offer. We're bringing over leading providers from Cambridge University, our friends at leading arbitration centre advisors, such as the Centre for Dispute Resolution in London, and we're bringing over leading barristers from London who speak fluent Russian and English to train the Kazakh lawyers of the future to work in our court, to apply the highest common law advocacy standards. Kazakhstan is, of course, a civil law society and judicial system, and we are now bringing and developing the common law here. So that's all I wanted to say in the short time that I had. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christopher.
Большое спасибо, Christopher. We are coming up to the final part, but anyway, we shall try to follow the schedule, and then we shall follow the agenda, and then pass over to a Q&A session. I ask Mikhail Daraman, who is the president of the Trade Chamber of Romania.
Gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank to the organizers for inviting me and my colleagues here with the occasion of this incredible forum. Of course, I have prepared, my colleagues have prepared for me a written speech, but I do prefer to use my own words to explain and to give some opportunities, and at the end of everything, why am I here? So the Chamber of Commerce of Romania is definitely dedicated to internationalize and to support the business community of Romania to expand the business abroad. Of course, I could say that the expertise of the Chamber of Commerce inside the EU borders is no longer needed. Because we are in that phase in which we can speak about business as usual is a routine of doing business in the EU for any Romanian company. We would like to recover and to regain those wasted and lost market, and I could say that Central Asian countries are a former traditional market for the Romanian products, despite of the fact that in the past all the Romanian products were traded through Moscow. We have a very good traditional work with Kazakhstan already, so we reached about $1.64 billion bilateral changes last year, comparing with $1.25 billion in 2017, so it's a significant increase. But I would like to say something. We have learned that big projects are generally giving confidence to the business community, and generally speaking, the big projects are bringing as satellites small and medium enterprises. I can say this because we have the privilege of having the Kazmunaigaz as one of the major foreign investors in Romania. So Kazmunaigaz is owning 2 refineries in Romania. They are trading a significant amount of oil and oil products all over the year. So the presence of Kazmunaigaz on the Romanian market gave the confidence to the business community that we can do business in this area, particularly in Kazakhstan, and I can say that the exports of Romania towards Kazakhstan increased with 70% only last year, so comparing with 2017. So there are opportunities. Of course, we have to establish the transportation connections. Of course, we would like to keep the latitude as a main direction. We are very much interested to have this transit across the Black Sea from the east side of the Black Sea to the west side. Constanța, as you know, is the major and the largest port of the Black Sea. In terms, I would like to underline that is the 4th in Europe in terms of surface, not unfortunately not in terms of volume of cargo handled. But hopefully with the support of the Central Asian countries, we will reach this goal to be the 4th also in terms of volume of cargo handled. Constanța port is not only a seaport but also a river port, since the canal between the Danube and the Black Sea is discharging inside port limits. And by using the Danube, you can reach all those landlocked Central European countries, such as Serbia, Hungary, Slovakia, and Austria. So there is plenty of market for the port of Constanța. We can accommodate the largest seagoing ships on the planet. Practically, I would like to mention the largest ships that are allowed by the Turkish authorities to transit the Turkish Straits. What I would like to mention that I established very fruitful connections with the national chambers of commerce with the Central Asian countries. We have a very large and significant expo center in Bucharest, owned by the Chamber of Commerce of Romania. I particularly have a deep trust and deep appreciation to the exhibitors worldwide, because are those companies that are really spending a lot of money to present their services and their goods. It's not easy to participate to an exhibition, mainly for specific in specific fields of activity, such agriculture, food industry, furniture. It's difficult to bring all the samples to an exhibition and to last just 4 or 5 days. So I do have a deep appreciation for them, and I hope that the Central Asian countries and the chambers will support us in bringing a lot of local companies to our Romexpo Center. As I said, the largest fair and exhibition center in the southeast of Europe. Thank you very much, and please rely on the Chamber of Commerce of Romania, and also to our excellent ambassador, that is Mr. Cezar Armeanu, the ambassador in Romania in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are talking about the Global Silk Way, and we started to talk about the Black Sea, and I give the floor to our permanent participant, the head of administration of Port Anaklia, Hitivan. You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my big honor to join this round table and discuss such a distinguished guests. Actually, each project, it's from each city, each country, it's really appealing, and it really shows that it's part of this big value chain that we would like to create to help the connectivity in the region and to help the trade facilitation, which overall will support by the private sector, businesses, and the people of our nations. Again, I would like to mention that in recent years, in the framework of cooperation of China, Caucasus, and Kazakhstan, there has been emerged a new silk route, Middle Corridor. While the numbers, in terms of absolute numbers, it's not very big compared to other already established routes, I would like to mention the growth rate has been very promising, and it creates a lot of opportunity. I would like always to mention that, of course, each country will not do itself anything much if there is no regional cooperation, and we can be easily a deadlock if not transit, if we don't cooperate. And there has been a number of initiatives already that supports the countries to develop, to have one strategy, one vision, and develop the infrastructure as well as the soft infrastructure to create less obstacles for the companies to use this route. I would like to mention there are a number of projects in Kazakhstan that has been supporting this idea, just Horgoz dry port, as well as the special economic zone, Aktau port, Kirik port, totally new, Turkmenbash port, as well as the Baku port, and Georgia and Romania. It's kind of a link east to west, which is one of the shortest route and will benefit everyone. So part of this infrastructure was to develop the Anaklia deep sea port on Black Sea coast on the other side, and this is to create the reliable infrastructure to support this whole idea. I'm very happy to see Mr. Wei here, Ang Wei, and again, we've been cooperating with Romania, with any other countries, and again, good things need to be promoted, and we would like to welcome you to Georgia and to use the opportunities that our country creates alongside the Middle Corridor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Katie. Thank you. We're running out of time.
The time is finished. I want to give the floor to the head of the International Secretariat of G Global Platform, Serikov Nagirbekov. First of all, let me thank one of the heads of the global teleradio company BBC, Sergei Stanovkin, for moderating. He is an excellent moderator. Second, quite recently, the second forum finished, One Belt, One Way, which collected representatives of more than 150. The final document of the forum was signed by leaders of 40 countries. I want to share good news. Based on the results of the forum, the major organizer of a platform, G Global Secretariat, has become one of the globals of AIEU, of ASEAN and others. We have also 3 more good news. Last year, jointly with Mayor of Astana City, we held the first forum of mayors of the cities, Global Silk Way. Our event was included in the final document of the second forum, One Belt, One Way. It means that our effort is encouraged by the heads of 40 countries, and we hope that mayor of the city Leningrad, heads of the biggest partner cities from China, that mayor of Leningrad City will undertake it, and the second forum will be held in Leningrad, in the Chinese People's Republic. Forum must be taken in turn. We did it twice in Astana, the next 2 times in Leningrad, maybe in Harbin, Beijing, and then other countries. Then our forum will become a serious platform. Don't forget that our leaders, president of the Chinese People's Republic, he supported Forum of Forums. Our global initiative also happened, which is called Global Award of the Silk Way. That award, as we hope that this award will be not less of a prestigious nature than the Nobel Prize, and we hope that it will incentivize the most active people, mayors of the Silk Way, public persons and figures, representatives of the artistry world, for active implementation of the initiative One Belt, One Way. So on this note is that we need to talk about good things, and a lot of thanks for the good news. With this, I want to finish the work of our roundtable. I want to thank everybody for your participation. Those who were not able to say anything, we are staying here. Anyway, I'm staying here. But unfortunately, the time has elapsed. But with this, I finish. I beg your pardon. That's why people don't like us moderators, because we have to follow the time framework. Thank you.